I'm so close to being out. Black is pretty, or dark gray is pretty much out, and white, still got some white sealer. But this is what I rock now. It's a primer sealer, so it can be mixed as a primer or as a sealer. That's sealer only. Now this stuff, don't get me wrong, it lays down beautifully. It is also very expensive. This stuff, a lot more cost effective. The nice thing about this is you're not paying for the name brand, but it's also direct to metal. And the nice thing about direct to metal is you just avoid the step of this. Is this it? Yes. The epoxy, because there's already epoxy built into this. And this stuff here, even the black, sounds really nice. I figured 10 to 15% over reduced in this black sounds perfectly. If you just mix gray standard, then it sounds really nice as well. But yeah, I like the ability of a product that can do more than just one thing. Sealer, yes, it's a really good sealer. It's a really good primer. Now that I've figured out the darker primer and how to get it to sand better, the darker you go, the more epoxy it gets, and that makes it so it sands not as nice. It kind of gums up the paper a bit, but this over reducing solved that for me. So going direct to metal is a game changer. So you skip that one step, so there's no half-hour window you gotta wait for your epoxy dry before you put a urethane primer on. And the final thing that sold me on this was you can actually put this product over top of raw plastic. You do need an adhesion promoter like everything else pretty much, but it just does everything a guy wants, and it does it really well. Oh yeah, and one thing, huge thing, is this stuff. That's what this is. That's the primer mix, is dark gray. It actually sands and powders up nicely. Let's say you're in the booth, you get a run in your sealer, you get a dust nib, whatever. You let it flash 10 to 15 minutes, and you can take some 800 grit, sand out that nib with PPG stuff. No shot that you're sanding. You've got to let things sit for hours. If you're lucky, it might powder up and sand out for this stuff. And again, another thing, quicker flash time. It's like 10 minutes. The other stuff's like 20 minutes. And if it's any humid or slightly cold, that other stuff, even longer. Like this stuff, doesn't matter. 20 degrees, 10 minutes. Humid, 10 minute flash every single time. It's way better. Everything I want in a sealer, it does. I do not miss the PPG days where you get this fancy toner, the fancy pearl, and it's $700, $800, $900, and you need a couple of drops. I don't know what the cost of these guys are, but I know that they are a heck of a lot more cost effective, and they do the exact same thing. Just because they're only used a couple times and are rare, let's call it, doesn't mean that they have to have that same rare price point. Oh, that'll be $188. Probably not. I bet this whole bottle is less than $188, but man, some companies, they just get away with absolute murder on some of their product. Like, there's no reason something like this should be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And the crazy thing is, you only mix a color like this, and you're really buying a name brand with some of these paint companies, and you go and you buy these toners, they're more money, but then this amount of paint doesn't go as far because it takes 3 or 4 coats just to get the coverage you need. Where this color with my black sealer, I'm 1 coat coverage right now, and I can just send it. I am having no more difficulty or no more easy of a time, however you want to say it, getting a color match with De Beer. Making the switch has probably been really easy, but it's probably been the best thing for business. It's not only is it more cost effective, I'm saving a bunch of time, but the service that the guys and the tech reps that we get is unbelievable. Like, pretty much every month I'm seeing the tech rep, and he's just kind of picking my brain, and I'm picking his brain, and learning something new every time he walks in. If I have a problem, it's easy to get somebody over here, help troubleshoot, whatever it might be. So like, even service wise, it's service-wise alone, it was worth the switch, but like everything else is really just a bonus. Anyways, we got PX8, just straight up black. There's a bumper right there, and it's just straight up black. Construction truck. And then I got my PXJ for the rest. But check this out. U-hooked. Holds your paint, so if you have multiple colors going on, put it in there, ready to rock. Quick check on the Sprayo card. PXJ, just checked it along the vehicle. And look at that, sparkle. This is a butt match. It's perfect. I love this stuff. Black sealer, black base coat. This is just straight up black. Construction truck. Now this one, I'm most worried about. I'm trying something here. I'm trying to make it go quick and get coverage for the most part without messing things up. But all I did was an orientation coat. But looking at it, I think I need to do a second orientation coat of color. But we're laughing right here. Like, this is already dry, no blowers going, like they're not plugged in. That's what I love about this. An orientation coat gives me enough coverage where I don't really need to worry about getting it on heavy to make it cover. So I'll do a second one here. Always got to do an orientation when you're dealing with a bunch of pearls and metallics like that. Nice chunky stuff, but we wanted to lay down nice. So from the time that I went sprayed, I blew the bumper off by hand, the two front ones by hand, just halfway, and then I grabbed my card and I went, oh, I forgot to spray out my card. So I sprayed out my card, blew that, checked the vehicle, and then I came back and everything was dry. So it goes quick. Like, that's, I don't know, whatever, it's fast, just believe me. That bumper for that Ford truck, construction truck, needs to be flattened. So I got this universal flattening agent. So how universal will it be? Made by PPG. We're gonna mix with our heart and see how it goes with the Matrix, but I have a feeling that's just gonna be fine. I've already done it with literally every other clear I've used. Haven't done it with that one quite yet. And I'm really tired of people saying, oh, you can't use this clear on that paint, blah, blah, blah. But during the whole like shutdown pandemic thing, we were told, oh, you can mix and match your clears with your base coats, but just keep it in the same family. Like, we don't want to jump brand to brand. It's like, so this whole time, brands are like, nope, you gotta use the top of the line stuff with our top of the line base. Don't use anything cheaper. But then when there's shortages for hardeners, they're like, well, maybe you can use the more economical clears on top of this premium base coat that we got. And yeah, we've been doing that for a long time, finding the best bang for your buck, not just being sold on the marketing of gotta use this, it's the best on the best, but it's like the lesser known brands are still as good, they're just more cost effective. It's like, I've been doing that for a long time, so I'm not too worried about this flattening agent at all. My favorite clear, I've been spraying for a few years. We've only had this for not even a year. So I'm not really worried because I've sprayed that clear on a ton of PPG and I've seen the cars come back and it's still holding the shine really well. There's no chips in the front end of a vehicle, and I've done that on the EnviroBase, I've done that on the Omni Plus, zero issues. But now I'm keeping it in the family now that we've switched over, because that Matrix, Latz Matrix and De Beer Matrix owned by the same company. So I guess, yeah, now I'm following the rules. Now for context, I don't have it anymore, but that brand, the EC 525/30 series of clear, so the kit is, you get one clear and one hardener, for example, and then with the Matrix you get one kit and one hardener, and they are the same price. The only difference is that's a gallon, that's 5 liters, that's 2.5 liters, then you get a quart. So you really get a gallon and a quart, or you get 7.5 liters of product for the same price. So your sprayable liter is a lot more cost effective here than that other stuff I was using, the 520 stuff. And another thing, there's a lot of restoration guys that use this specific clear for the simple fact of it's an awesome clear. It's amazing. It sands and polishes nice, lays down nice, super glossy. So really, it's a win-win, and fast, medium, slow, so you can pick your speed. Anyways, ain't that rambling in there. I did not put blowers on this at all. I managed to clean the gun, mix 2 different clears. Look at that. It's super dry. I'm not gonna touch the outside, but you don't see that bit. No blowers, waterborne paint, flashed off, really nice. So we're gonna get some clear on this. That one gets flat, this gets regular gloss, butt match color, pumped about that. I know I struggled with this one with EnviroBase a little bit, got it blendable. We're laughing now. Not my best showing, but we are just under, call it 40 milliliters. This one I mixed with the scale. This one I mixed with my heart. Yikes. Big yikes, my guy. Not good, but we are going to add it to the bucket. Now, if I believe so, this was about a month ago I started this. Could be wrong. But this is 20 paint jobs. And we're sitting right about there. Call it 520 jobs. Not bad. But that last one really did not go well. Don't mix with your heart. Use your scale. Track your numbers if you can. Just about to leave for the day. It's flattening off, but it's still really fresh. Still gonna mark up, but it is drying, so hey, we crossed everything up, put PPG in with some matrix clear, but she still works out in the end. Look at that. Beautiful color.